Thank you for downloading from the BBC. For details of our complete range of podcasts and our terms of use, go to bbcworldservice.com/podcasts.
You're listening to the BBC World Service. I'm Julian Marshall with NewsHour. Is dialogue the way to end the civil conflict in Syria, where more than 1,300 civilians are estimated to have been killed by the security forces since anti-government unrest broke out in mid-March? Yes, publicly, says the government of President Assad, which has responded to the protests with a mixture of force and promises of reform. No, says Syria's main opposition groups, who say they will not negotiate till the government stops the violent suppression of protests and frees thousands of political prisoners, which is why they're boycotting the government's national dialogue, a two-day meeting which got underway today in Damascus and was opened by the Vice President Farouk al-Shara.
Ladies and gentlemen, today, the 10th of July, marks the beginning of national dialogue. It is not like other days, because we hope it will eventually lead to a comprehensive conference and the announcement of Syria's transition to a pluralistic democratic state, where all citizens are equal and can take part in deciding the future of their country.
And earlier we brought together Amer Al-Sadeq of the Syrian Revolution Coordinators Union and independent Syrian MP Dr. Mohammed Habash, who attended today's meeting. What would or could the national dialogue achieve without the presence of significant opposition figures?
We believe that the time now is very, very complicated in Syria, and we have to do something because there is a bloodshed on the streets. So when the government gets this very important step to call for a national dialogue, we believe this is our responsibility now to do anything to support national dialogue. The opposition decided to boycott this kind of national dialogue. But let me be frank, I believe their attitude was moral one. I agree with them. Maybe the dialogue needs some atmosphere. The dialogue needs suitable atmosphere around, and to be frank, we have in this kind of atmosphere, but we cannot wait. We cannot wait more. There is no way at all to wait. The time is very short and very limited. Because of that, we have to do anything to stop bloodshed in the streets.
Amer Al-Sadeq, that's quite an impassioned call there to those such as you who have decided not to attend this meeting. It's crucial, is it not, to try to end the bloodshed in Syria, and the best way to do that is to talk.
Well, let me first point out that we were not invited to such a conference. It is clear from the statements of all the regime figures, starting from Bashar al-Assad, that such dialogues or so-called dialogues are not targeting the people in the street. They're only targeting the opposition that they think they can bring in so that they make themselves look better. Now, can you talk about stopping the bloodshed while the tanks are in the streets, while the snipers are still doing their jobs? On the eve of this very conference, several people were shot by sniper bullets in Hama. Now, how realistic is it to talk to somebody who, with one hand, who in the other hand, still holding his gun, pointed to all the other millions of people who decided they didn't want that guy anymore?
Dr. Habash.
Yes.
Your response?
Unfortunately, the government didn't treat with the situation by good reaction. But after that, we have to realize that there is some people in Syria, they were using weapons. I cannot put my finger, I cannot hidden behind my finger. I found a lot of people in الشغور and a lot of people in Bonias who were using weapons and using guns. Because of the situation, the people in army and the government use army to defense. Because of that, we found ourselves in the conference. We have to go for civilian state, for free state, for the democratic state. This is exactly our target. This is exactly our goal. Unfortunately, there is some complicated situation. Now I cannot speak more, but I have to send a very clear message to stay around the table to discuss about everything and to drive to our target in freedom and democracy in Syria.
So, Amer Al-Sadeq, what happens, therefore? You are unwilling to take part in a national dialogue. Do you just go on protesting on the streets, trying to wear down the government?
Well, it's obviously working out. If it weren't working out, we wouldn't have this conference. We know the Syrian regime very well, and we know they wouldn't have made a conference unless they are suffering and struggling. They could have made this conference on the very first days of the revolution. Back in those days, nobody was asking for the fall of the regime at the beginning. But now, everybody doesn't want any reform, doesn't want any dialogue, except after we get rid of this criminal regime. We are not idiots. We do not accept people coming to us saying we will fix you while they're killing us on the other hand.
Okay.
We do not accept that. I'm talking to you now and I'm reading the news. Now tanks are storming Homs city, storming a certain hot zone famous for the protests, with among heavy fire shots with tank machine guns. Now, isn't this pure hypocrisy or what?
That was Amer Al-Sadeq of the Syrian Revolution Coordinators Union. We also heard from independent Syrian MP Dr. Mohammed Habash.